G'day, guys. Welcome back to yet another episode of the CoolDadCollective podcast, the podcast that is for dads, by a dad, talking everything there is to talk about fatherhood, the ups, the downs, the trials, the tribulations, everything in between. And we're ready. We're ready for another big week. Sorry, I had to get it. You know, it's funny. I literally went to go start the podcast. I was like, I should probably get rid of that little feeling in the back of my mouth, back of my throat. Didn't do it, so I always love giving you guys that really nice ASMR of like my nasal cavity and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, as I said, we're back again. I'm recording this pretty late on a Wednesday afternoon. I know podcast usually comes out Tuesday. Your boys have been busy. The girls are on their way home currently from I forget I'm on camera, from kindy, and it's about to be all hell breaks loose, but we're in the thick of it. We're ready. We're home from work. We got a bit of energy. I swear to God, I only really drink pre-workout and energy drinks now after I go to the gym and when I'm preparing to just get through the afternoon. So it's a big day, big week, everything it is. You know what it is. I shouldn't have to say this. You guys are all out here doing the cool stuff. And, you know, if you are a dad in the thick of it right now, you're doing a good job, Chief. You really are, because it is a tough job. It's a hard job. And you know what? Not everyone can be good at it. So you just got to keep getting up, keep trying. And, you know, if you listen to this podcast, you obviously give a shit, which is ideally what you want to be as a parent, you know, caring about, you know, how you are as a dad and how you get viewed as a dad as well from your kids, your wife, from anyone who is around your kids, like that view of, you know, you as a dad. Anyway, I'm rambling a little bit. You will have noticed too, if you're watching the video on this, because this episode is going to be one of the first episodes I actually upload to YouTube, which is a big deal for me. I used to do a lot of YouTube back in the day, as in uploading to YouTube. And when I say I did YouTube, it was usually to like maybe 5 subscribers. It was a really embarrassing time in my life, but hey, I learned from it and look where I am now. Still doing the same thing. But anyway, so this will be the first episode on YouTube, thanks to my beautiful new camera, but it's going to be cool putting some stuff on YouTube as well, and also having that dual camera when we have guests and stuff like that, which is going to be really great from the production side of things. It's pretty cool that, you know, it's pretty incredible when you think about it, like all these things, you know, back in the day would never have, like the average person couldn't just have like a mixer or a podcasting studio in their house. And now you can sort of, I don't really have one, but, you know, you can make one wherever you go with the amount of equipment that you have and produce really high quality stuff. So if that is something that interests you, I really highly go pursue that, okay? It's really fun. It's really fun. It does cost a little bit of money, but it's great to document the process on whatever you're doing. I had literally people come up to me the other day, like friends of mine, and go, yeah, you know, we've been thinking about it. And these were people that were like, yeah, I'll never start a podcast, blah, blah, blah. And they started one on like fantasy NBA. And I was like, dude, it's the best thing ever. Like the thing about a podcast is you don't need to make it go big. Like you don't need to be the next Joe Rogan. Sometimes a podcast is really cool just to like gain a little bit of a community around a hobby that you have. Like there's no ambition all the time to make money out of it or anything like that. Well, I certainly haven't made any money out of it, but, you know, that's what I mean. I really love it. So, yeah, very cool to be on YouTube. I'm very excited to be putting stuff up on there. We've got over now 5,000 followers on Facebook. We're just doing the thing. We're putting the work in, and as the community grows, I'm getting happier and happier to seeing it grow. And obviously, seeing people reaching out to one another, or like, you know, I heard somebody, this is a whacked story. This blows my mind, really. Someone saying like, oh yeah, I listened to your podcast and I went to a birthday party on the weekend, and then another guy was talking about your podcast, and we like had this common ground automatically because of listening to CoolDadCollective. And I thought to myself, that is fucking wild. Like that is so weird and foreign. That feeling of like, dude, that's just weird. But you know what? Getting that message saying like that two dads formed like, you know, oh, hang on, we got something to talk about because of this podcast. Not only did it probably save them a whole bunch of awkward chit chat for the rest of the afternoon, but I guess too, it's like that icebreaker. If it sounds so stupid, but if a lot of people are listening, it means you always got something to talk about at a new event. And we all know parenting. You go to a lot of new events and you have to do small talk, fucking painful small talk. Going on a tangent here, but this is kind of what I wanted to talk about. We're talking about a couple of different things that I wasn't ready for in fatherhood, and now they happen, but it's not really things to do with the baby itself. It's more things to do with yourself. But one of the things I had actually written down is that really painful small talk. Like, the same shit. You almost have a routine for it. You know what I mean? Like, it's uncomfortable for both people. And there comes a point where you do small talk for so long and you still can't hit the nail on the head for something in common. And you just sort of sit there like, I think this is it. I think we're just not ready, not meant to gel, and then odds are your wife is the one that actually makes friends with their wife, and then you end up in this weird situation where you see them all the time but you never quite break the ice. Dude, it's the worst. So it's I'm very lucky. I haven't really had that many, but I have had times where obviously you're just talking to someone and you both know it's like a mutual thing. You just both sit there, you're like, bro, look at us, huh? We're different people. Look at the way we dress. We have nothing to talk about just by looking at us. And, it'd be nice if we just both put our hand up and went, hey, brother, respect. You're a dad. I'm a dad. I hope our kids are friends, but we're probably not going to be mates. So let's just keep this civil. Like, g'day, mate. No dramas. See you later. That's the type of shit we need. But yeah, and it really puts you off going to new things. Like, I feel like from a young age, with like mums groups and stuff like that, I was really keen on it. And I met some really good friends. One of my great, like really good mates, Jack, who, shout out to Jack. I think he actually does listen to the podcast, poor him. But he's one of my like really good mates. And I met him through like, meeting new people and stuff like that. And you go through like the golden era where it's like, 1 to 2 years. You just can't wait to like, oh, we're going to another birthday party. Sick. I'll be able to see like other people my age with kids and blah, blah, blah. And then as ages go on and your kids now get more friends and you have to meet more parents, and then you kind of just like, I really want to go to this birthday party, but I don't know if I can deal with 2 hours of painful small talk, throughout the time being there. So, it is nice to know that people bond over the podcast. I know that kind of sounds negative from me, but I say it in a funny way. Like, you're still going to go and be civil. You're not going to go there and be like, no, I have already got all my friends. I don't need to talk to anybody else. You're still going to do that shit, but it just requires like mental energy. Like, you have a certain percentage of energy that you can allocate to different places per day. And if you're on a weekend and you're just like, man, I want more of my energy to go into like watching sport that weekend or like doing something with the family, and you have to put like 10% of that energy into like small talk, bro, it can be hard. It can be hard and it can be annoying, but it's the necessary things we have to do as dads. And that's where I've compiled this list, okay? The list of things that aren't that bad. They have nothing to do with your kids, but they mainly have stuff to do with you as a dad being like, I really don't want to do that. Like, I'm going to have to, but like, I really don't want to do that. Next thing, remember. So we've gone from, the awkward small talk when you're meeting new parents. That's an obvious one. The next one is a necessary evil once again. And it also kind of relates to, your kid doing something, doing an activity, okay? We all, as parents, we love our kids to be busy. We want our kids to be busy. The more they're busy, the more they're doing the different activities, like, I guess, extracurricular activities, the better off they're going to be, of course, right? But there comes a phase where you're almost trying to find your kid's, like, thing, right? So, like, my daughter, Skylar, she's 4. We've spent, and I know she's into things, but there's some sports where like you just don't progress really quickly at a young age unless you're like super gifted. And it gets kind of boring. Like, you need, like, say for example, things like soccer, I mainly say so, netball, things like that, where you kind of have to explain rules to them. So you're kind of looking for these like individual style sports or whatever like that. And you're really trying really hard to see what your kids are into. So for example, like I just said, my bad, I'm going back in circles, but back to what I was saying. Skylar, my daughter, loves gymnastics. She's kind of found her thing. She just like, it's one of those things where, you can rock up and, for example, swimming lessons, I have to sort of coerce her to like go into the water. Like, I feel like, okay, how about we do this after you finish? Or, if you jump in the pool now, what we'll do is we're going to go to the shops. We'll be able to get you an ice cream on the way home because, like, you're doing something that's out of your comfort zone. Gymnastics, she gets out of the car. She's like, see ya, I'm out. I just want to go. And you're just like, this is it. This is her thing. Which is so sick. As a parent, like, that's really something that is just incredible. Seeing that, like, them develop that, and I've said that in past podcasts, it's just unbelievable. So like I said, necessary evil to do these things. But there comes to a time where every single weekend, and I don't know if anyone else's partner's the same. My partner Kia, she's really big on activities, and I love that. It's really good, and I'm glad she does push, we're going to try this, because I probably wouldn't. So as a parent, I think she's doing a fantastic job, and I'll always go along with it. But there comes a time where you're just trying new things every single weekend or every single month or every single fortnight, and that you usually do those free trial things, and they always, in theory, they come up really good. For example, we did little kickers with Skylar. She loves it when she was 2. It did take a lot of us being like, shit, this is an event. We're going to have to get out there. We're going to have to really get involved. Once again, this comes from a place of these things were really good. I love doing that. I loved getting involved with Skylar soccer. Don't take this as me complaining about my daughter having fun, but it's so much energy. It does come with energy when you have to go somewhere. It's new. You're then meeting a new teacher for the first time. They're meeting a new coach for the first time. They're doing a skill they haven't really done. It's really hands-on, and you do also find yourself really trying to push your kid. We want to instill in Skylar that if you commit to something, you follow through with it. You don't just bail last minute. So if she says, I want to do this, we set her up with that. We get there and we go, okay, this is what you wanted to do. I just want you to try it, okay? With that comes, once again, so much energy. And when you're doing that every single Saturday morning at a different activity, you just get to the point where you fucking loathe it. You get there, you get ready, you're trying to do a good job as a parent, and all of a sudden you're dealing with people looking at you because your kid's having a tantrum over something that they wanted to do or thought they wanted to do. And it's just, once again, effort, but necessary evil. You want your kid to find their thing, right? You want your kid to find that thing that they like and they do just run out of the car and go to. So it gets old. Once again, same with the dad thing, the dad socializing thing. At the start, it's so sick, but it does wear you thin. It does really wear you thin. Excuse me. I need to stop doing that. I need to find a way to get rid of that. I'm hoping if I do it away from the microphone, it doesn't come in as much. But that's the second thing. The second thing is obviously trying to find their thing, putting a lot of effort into them trying to find their thing. The next thing, okay, and this is one of the most painful things you'll ever go through as a parent. And, this is pretty unanimous. Most parents, unless you get a gem of a kid, which some people do, every kid's different, but this really pisses a lot of parents off. And it pisses me off too, because there's no proper way to go about it. You can do research, you can trial things, but at the end of the day, your kid is so individual that what's going to work with your kid, it probably won't even work with the younger kid or the older kid. It's all different depending on the kid, which is painful. And that is the picky eating phase. The picky eating phase, and I'm sorry because I do pronounce my P's pretty hard, but the picky eating phase is one of the worst. And it's a phase that lasts. God damn does it last. And, it comes down to little things like, having something mixed in with the food that'll literally repulse them so much that they just refuse to eat. And I always thought to myself as a dad, as a parent, no, I'm going to give them the food. And if they don't want to eat it, I'm going to keep the food. And then when they tell me they're hungry a little bit later on, I'll give them back the dinner. That works in theory. That's a great theory. But when it is 8:30 at night and your kids can't settle to go to sleep because they are hungry and they're refusing to eat the leftovers that you had in the fridge of the food that they wanted you to make, but you put the wrong thing in it, so now they don't want to eat it, you end up making more food. And I know people are like, yeah, you give the choice. You give them the food. Yeah, that's so sick. And you're right. Good job. But also, I want to get to fucking sleep. Okay, I need to have a little bit of time to myself before I go to bed. Otherwise, I'm going to feel like a fucking robot, and I'm going to feel like all I do is get up, go to work, pick up the kids, look after the kid, but be a parent, and then I get to the end of the day and be like, fuck, well, I'm going to bed. Sorry for the excessive F words there. That's, because I know this happens. I know all over social media, you got to be the provider, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, sick. Okay, but sometimes I just want peace and quiet, just for a little bit, just sometimes. So the picky eating phase has so many different areas that just exhaust you, exhaust your mind, exhaust everything. The worst one is when you plan a dinner and you're really trying to plan it well. You want your kids eating good food, and then you make them something that you thought they liked. Every single piece of evidence led to they like this food, and then for some reason Mercury is in freaking retrograde or something, and they've just woken up being like, fuck broccoli. Not today, man. I'm not doing that shit. And then you're stuck with a broccoli heavy meal being like, this is a disaster because now I'm going to probably have to cook something else, or I'm going to pretend that I'm not going to cook something else, then crack the shits, and then I'll probably cook something else. So the picky eating phase, once again, at first, you think you're a master. You have so much patience. You're sitting there. You'll sit at the dinner table for 30 minutes. Being like, I just want you to try it. Give it a try. And you're working towards. And then it gets to the point where you get older. The kids get older. You have more shit to do. Because that's the thing about parenting, right? Your kids get easier to look after. Don't get me wrong, right? You get to the end, towards the end of the toddler phase. Like my daughter Sky, almost 4. Brilliant. So easy. I wouldn't say she's easy. Actually, she can be a bit of a pain. But you know what I mean? She's getting easier. But she's doing so much more shit now. Like we're busier now. So we get to the table to eat dinner. We're like, dude, whatever we're making, can we just all simultaneously agree that we're gonna all eat it? You know what I mean? So they're the three. And I don't want to ramble for too much longer. I want to keep this podcast fairly short and sweet because we have spoken about it a little bit. But those are the 3 things that have, as parenting have gone on, the things that have nothing to do directly with my children that are really starting to like wear me a little bit more thin. And I know these are things, the reason I say these things too is these things probably won't go away. Like it's going to be like this for the rest of my life. And, I'm just burping. And you know what? I'm fine with it because we need to normalize the fact that you can have a little bit of a whinge about being a parent and still love it and be a good parent, okay? I love my job. Not this job, hopefully one day, but my actual job, right? But if you give me a fucking inch to complain about it, just do a little cheeky, like little dirty bowl of dessert complaining, like, because it feels good. Don't just admit it. And, I'll complain about it, but fuck, I love my job. You know what I mean? It's a good, I'd be absolutely devastated if I lost it. It's like that. I can still whinge about my daughters being bad sleepers, but fucking love them more than anything in the whole entire world. That is completely normal. I see it online. Why would you want to be a parent if you're just going to whinge about it? Well, there's a difference between hate and just having a cheeky whinge, okay? It is socially acceptable to all have a cheeky whinge about their kids every so often and still love them dearly. Nobody else can whinge about my kids besides my partner, Kia, but I can whinge about them all the time. So let's just normalize that. You're not a bad parent, because I know some of you are sitting here right now saying, yeah, I do have a whinge. You're not a bad parent. No, you're not. You're probably a good parent, because if you have shit to whinge about, it means you're putting in the work and dealing with the shit. If you have nothing to whinge about, your kid's either a robot or like you have just got like you've won the lottery somehow and you're just like, I don't have to do anything, and it came trained. So whichever of those is you, you're still a good parent. You're still a great dad. Anyway, guys and girls, I know there's some girls that listen to the podcast and I really appreciate you guys, but guys and girls, you guys have a fantastic week and just get around the dad life. I'm really enjoying it. I'm kind of like manifesting this great stuff at the moment. I get home from work and I'm like, fuck yeah, I can't wait to see my kids. That's the best thing about it. So if that's you, really relish in that, cherish those moments and just enjoy the week every single week. Don't just enjoy it at certain bits, enjoy every single bit of it. That's the whole bit of it, right? The ups, the downs, the trials, the tribulations, you know what it is. If you want to get in contact with the podcast, go over to CoolDadCollective at hotmail.com. We're doing a little bit of a social media coaching stuff at the moment as well. So if you want to jump on there and shoot me an email and inquire about that and obviously see what Cool Dad Media has to offer you if you're a dad that's growing a business or wants to start a social media platform, not the platform itself, but start an account on it. And if you want to get in, send a message to the podcast as well, you can text in via the Spotify link. And we're reaching out this week for, once again, what is your thing that isn't that bad, that has nothing to really do with your kids, but still, is involved in fatherhood that you absolutely loathe. So if it's something like me with socializing, jot that in. I want to hear. So give us a text, give us an email. You can even shoot us a message on Instagram. And I'm going to stop rambling right now. You guys know what it is. It's a Cool Dad Collective podcast. Be good to your kids. Be good to yourself. Be good to your partner. Just enjoy, your life. Love yours. Love the thing that you get to do every single day. And of course, peace.